Welcome to Bears in Exile. Today is Wednesday, July the 18th, and this is the market overview, looking at the Dow, SPX, VIX, TNA, UUP, FXE, GLD, SLV, and all the rest. It was a pretty darn amazing day up in the markets today. We didn't really get the pullback in the 60-minute time frame like we were looking for, since that was rather negative last night chart-wise, and of course green still in the daily time frame. So up in on the daily chart, that's fulfilling the outlook for the daily. So that's nice, but I think that there's quite a bit of progress today chart-wise. So I'm going to get right into it. Starting off with the Dow, closing above the upper price consensus level once again, just like last night. Now a very, very positive move, getting close to the previous high. Question will become, can we make a new high? We've talked about the lower pivot, higher low, higher high, higher low, and now higher high question mark after the bears failed here. Well, that's an interesting subject. We have more green showing up in the heat map. It isn't at a critical level yet, but it is getting about to the same shade as it was at this point. So the news is going to play a significant role. We did have Ben come out and say no double dip recession, which was hugely positive to the market. And in addition to that, after the close today, we had numbers come out from a bunch of different places. Qualcomm, Yum, several places. And for the most part, except for Yum, they all beat. eBay beat, and IBM beat. Well, beat in terms of EPS, not in terms of revenue, but nonetheless up big in the aftermarket. So we should have some kind of a gap up. Perhaps it'll be enough to take it above and make a new recent high. That would be very impressive. Guess we won't know until tomorrow. We have the 14-day RSI moving average still going sideways. We have the stochastic still heading up, but the fast is losing steam. Finally it is. Talked about last night about these coming up potentially to meet the 14-day RSI moving average before it makes its move down. So that seems to be in effect. It isn't completely finished setting up, but it's on its way. CCI moving on up. RSI going sideways. MACD ticking up, finishing a bullish cross. And MACD histogram also ticking up. This is an extremely positive chart in the daily time frame. 60-minute time frame. We can see the ramp up, boop, and then it just went sideways. Tried to retrace, never got any real traction to it. You can see that we have a topping area firmly established in the 60-minute time frame. You can see the CCI continues its descent. Actually have negative divergence there. The stochastics are holding high. The 14-day RSI moving average is holding high. Uptick on the RSI, down on the MACD histogram by the end of the day, and sideways on the MACD itself. This is a questionable chart, 60-minute time frame. And I think that if we do get a good-sized gap up tomorrow, that then it'll really be screaming for some kind of a retrace. And we do have a negative divergence in the MACD histogram as well. 150 points roundabout to the downside from its current position. So it'll take hold when it takes hold, and it hasn't started yet. Daily is powerful though. SPX. Yep, this one, look at that. This one actually did make a new recent high. Just by a little bit. We do have darker area coming in the heat map. 14-day RSI moving average going sideways high. Stochastics almost there to meet it. Up on the CCI, down on the RSI, up on the histogram, up on the MACD. Also a very, very positive chart. Any difference in the 60-minute time frame? Well, could have a bull flag here, possibly. We have everything holding high. CCI, stochastics, although they are attempting to go down. 14-day RSI moving average holding high. Uptick on the RSI, down on the histogram, sideways on the MACD. Slightly, very slightly different than the Dow 60-minute chart. But interesting how everything is already in at the top, just waiting for some reason for it to go down. And doesn't mean that it has to at the open tomorrow. It may have that gap up. So, very interesting. Moving on to the VIX. VIX got slammed today. Oh boy, look at that. It's bearish engulfing. It exceeded this low from back here. So we have a new low. Whew, it's bearish. And yeah, it wouldn't have another level of real heavy support until down here about the 1426 area. $2 to the downside. We do have warning signs in the heat map. We're still heading down in the CCI, the stochastics, holding low on the 14-day RSI moving average. Side tick on the RSI, down on the histogram, down on the MACD. This is very extended. It doesn't have that much room to move. So very interesting chart when it comes to that, getting a bearish cross at the at a very low level. $60-minute time frame. Wow, it was just a few days ago that we were in this channel, and turns out it was a bear flag. And here we are. Some warning sign in the heat map. Very low on the CCI ticking down. Stochastics ticking down. 14-day RSI moving average. Slight tick up at the end of the day. Slight uptick on the RSI. Slight tick up on the histogram. And going sideways on the MACD low. Positive divergence. Positive divergence. Positive divergence. And nope. Brutal. Brutal, brutal. I have no idea how much complacency it will take before this sucker snaps back up. But we could go another couple bucks to the downside. So that is there. TNA. This one we had been complaining about it just taking its sweet old time. And today it did make up for a great deal of it. Bullish engulfing. Getting all the way back up to 56 before retreating some. Retreating $1. But making up some time. In the after hours, this one recovered about 50 cents, maybe a little bit more. So it is higher than it would appear here. The 14-day RSI moving average is still moving up. The stochastics are trying to turn and both move up. CCI up, RSI down, histogram sideways, MACD sideways. And this one in the 60-minute time frame, yeah, look at that. It's doesn't really look like a bear flag to me. And we're headed down on the stochastics, the 14-day RSI moving average, histogram, and the MACD. We're heading sideways on the CCI and up on the RSI. Definitely more bearish than bullish in this time frame. We do have negative divergence. in a few places. And we'll see when those want to wake up and mean something. Now here's the cool one. UUP. We've been waiting patiently for this bubble corrective move to complete. Completed today, finally. So that is out of the way. The dollar has been a huge driver in this move up. Now its bubble is fixed. We can see where it wants to go. Sitting right above the middle Bollinger Band, sitting below the upper price consensus level. Still have plenty of room before hitting the long-term moving average bar, the descending trend line, or anything else. We did complete this gap fill here today. So the only things left, or this gap fill I should say. Oh, you know what? Actually, this has 2 pennies to go too for this gap fill. Maybe it has to do that too. But nonetheless, bubble corrective move done. Hopefully it won't have to fill this gap. Maybe it does. But we shall see very, very soon now that this bubble is fixed. Nothing in the heat map either way. 14-day RSI moving average moving up. Stochastics moving down. The fast is turning, or trying to turn. Down on the CCI, down on the RSI, down on the histogram, down on the MACD, looking for a bearish cross. Yeah, overall this is a pretty bearish chart, but got to see what happens after the bubble corrective move. FXE, the euro. Wow. Had that uptick here. It's nowhere close to filling it. And we have 2 days left. It's not making very good progress, which is actually kind of weak. 14-day RSI moving average moving on down. Fast stochastic is already crossed it. It's already high. Just waiting for it to turn. Slow is just hanging out. Very odd that it's not moving very well at all. Up on the CCI, sideways on the RSI, up on the MACD histogram, up on the MACD. Overall a bullish chart, but certainly just meandering about. Very interesting. CompQ, the NASDAQ. Very strong with the tech stocks. Just like TNA, we weren't pleased with its movement. Fixed a lot of that today. Up on the CCI, up on the stochastics, sideways on the 14-day RSI moving average, sideways on the regular RSI, up on the histogram, up on the MACD, looking for a bullish cross. This is a bullish chart in the daily time frame. Absolutely. And it has a ways to go before busting its top. Very strange that it would be so far away when it should lead, and SPX did it today. So, very strange. And Apple. Not much to write home about. Essentially staying near its close from yesterday, spinning top. 14-day RSI moving average moving on up along with the stochastics, down on the CCI, sideways on the RSI, down on the histogram, and sideways on the MACD. Not a impressive chart. And I'm not sure why it's behaving this way. It really should have been higher, especially with the NASDAQ moving the way that it did. So, But Qualcomm was up heavy in the after hours. I would expect this one to move. I did notice earlier in the after hours it was at 609, little bump up. It would have been better if it had cleared these previous highs, but we'll see tomorrow. We'll see tomorrow. And GE trying to get a better read on the Dow. This one had a really nice day. It exceeded the previous day's high by a very small amount. It's coming up on the major price consensus level. Middle Bollinger Band is still above everything. It's outside the long-term moving average bar. 14-day RSI moving average moving on down. CCI up. Stochastics up. RSI down. Histogram up. MACD sideways. Not the most compelling chart, but certainly more bullish than bearish. So it did a lot of good for itself today. And JP Morgan, most important bank, still struggling with the long-term moving average bar. Closing right at its bottom, closing above the major price consensus level, which it's been able to do for days now, even though it's been weak. 14-day RSI moving average ticking down. Stochastics mixed. Difference from yesterday when they were just going sideways. Up on the CCI, down on the RSI. Essentially sideways on the MACD and the MACD histogram. Just a kind of a weird looking chart. And XLF, the financials. Ooh, what's this all about? Almost got a downtick today, and then with it spinning top, closing lower than yesterday's big hammer. Overall, not looking great from retreating from this previous high. 14-day RSI moving average, it's going sideways. Confusion with the stochastics high. Down on the CCI, down on the RSI, down on the histogram, and up on the MACD. This is also a very weird looking little chart. And yeah, its strength is not, or lack of strength, is not running with the market, which is interesting, since you do need the financials on board one way or the other, and this isn't telling us much of anything. Oh heck, VXX, why not? We know the VIX has been pounded, and if I go back a year, yeah, we don't have anything really to for support. Way down here in the 12s, trying to make a small hammer. Maybe that's something. Do have excessive separation. 14-day RSI moving average still moving down. Stochastics holding low. CCI holding low. RSI holding low. Histogram slight tick up. MACD tick down. Boy, this one is just so darn beat up. It's I guess we'll see when it starts to bounce, and then we'll have an idea of if there's anything behind it. Do have positive divergence going all the way back up into the 16s with the MACD histogram. Positive divergence on the CCI going back to the 14s. Yep, nobody thinks the market can go down. So very, very interesting. I think this one will be a buy at some point in the not too distant future. I don't know that that's today. And Walmart, a little monster in my pocket. Finally, a downtick. Woohoo! Doesn't mean that much. Downtick gives it a target of 71.60 roundabout. Is that right? Yep, 71.60. Has a bit of a topping tail. 14-day RSI moving average still moving up. Stochastics trying to turn. They've tried to turn in the past. Has not succeeded. CCI, very, very slight tick down. RSI tick down. MACD tick down. MACD histogram tick down. Sure seems like its turning point could be immediate, but we won't know until all of these get underway. Very interesting. And is there anything I'm missing? XOI. Oh, something is wrong with my chart. I don't have oil data for some reason. Alright. Well, in that case, I'll use USO in lieu of XOI. And yeah, we can see this big move in oil the last 2 weeks, which has helped the market. Ending today above the long-term moving average bar. 14-day RSI moving average moving up along with the CCI, along with the stochastics. RSI going sideways, up on the histogram, up on the, actually sideways on the MACD histogram. This is a definitely a bullish looking chart, especially clearing the long-term moving average bar. Not bad. And let's see, anything special here? Oh, there's a gap here. So if we can go up here, close this gap just above 34, it'll be time for it to figure out if that's what it was trying to do all along. Not far away from where it is at the moment. And that's it. A very nice day for the bulls. And we're going to see if we can make a new pivot high. It certainly seems like it can do that. Of course, it's already done it for SPX. But we shall see. As always, all investing decisions are your own. This chart and video for entertainment, educational, and consumption of time purposes only. Thank you.